Welcome, everybody, to Generation Dan and Run Jr. Daddy's Home. I'm Atlas Novak, and I'm your millennial. Who else is here with me?
I'm Dino the Genetic Marvel. I'm old, and I hate everything. Serge is in the comments already.
Yeah, he was going off before we started.
I appreciate the anticipation. That's for sure.
Is like, it's just you and me.
Yeah.
Like, if we had a guest, that would have been even creepier.
I mean, hey, we would have been like, it's all your fault. I don't know this guy. Yeah, it'd be fine.
Yeah,
good morning, Serge. Good afternoon. Whatever it is.
So how was the Dan without me? I made a point of like, it was my honeymoon. I didn't touch it because then Katie would
as you should
crush my phone. Yeah,
as totally reasonable.
Thank you, Victoria. So how was it without me?
We survived. I tried to get a couple of guests that didn't pan out, but they're like, I'll come on another time. I'm just too nervous about this. And I'm like, bullshit.
Nervous?
Yeah, well, it's hilarious. So this is the thing. I remember when I first started comedy and I asked a few guys who were running shows and stuff, I'm like, hey, Ohio gozaimasu. There you go.
Because she was saying it like Japanese.
Yeah, she's not Japanese. I don't know why.
It's because for people wondering where I was in Japan. That's why the thing is Mount Fuji and cherry blossoms.
He tried to take over.
What, Cole tried to take over?
No, you tried to take over Japan.
No.
So a lot of people are like, oh, when I'm like, hey, do you have any advice? They're like, oh, eye contact with the audience. I'm like, oh, I don't need advice on how to publicly speak. That's nothing. That's an easy thing. So like a lot of people are still very nervous about speaking, and I'm like, it's the internet. It's fine.
Yeah.
What's up, Broju? How are you?
There are the comments, but it's like, who cares? Like, you can, like, if from our end, I can switch to the private chat and you don't see anything. Like,
oh yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is sometimes you should, and is that Fernando, you are the best, and you try it out every time I try. Hey, and we appreciate you, Fernando. Thank you for watching. Make sure everyone you like and subscribe to our channels, as we are trying to do more and more on a daily basis. I have a shit ton of Lego I need to build that Victoria's already mad at me about. So,
okay, so I think the best place to start with, what I was doing in Japan is the socks. So if you were following me on Instagram, Dino does thing. Yeah, okay, or Dino. Dino does this thing where he'll be in Target and he's like, look at all the socks that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Behold the sock collection. Where he's like fascinated.
I am. You know what? Like bald or like sun. That's actually funny.
Yeah, it's happening.
It's all right. Don't worry, you're in much better shape than I am. But that was the whole thing, is that like I remember the time when there were no options. You had options of socks, or no socks. Like those were your choices, right?
Where it was like tube socks, tiny socks. We're done. Like
you got dress socks, or you had sports socks. Those are your options. You had two, and they're like, so I wear black dress socks, that's like, or black sports socks, that's what I wear constantly. And I'm like, I just buy, I'm a weirdo, so I'm like, I buy a set amount of underwear, dress shirts, and socks, and then I have those for a year, and then I get rid of them and I get a new set, and that's how I do it.
Exactly.
And that's but a lot of people are like, that's weird, and I'm like, now this is the first time where I'm like, I've had different sets of things, just because I'm like slowly buying as I get smaller, and everything's really weird, and it's very, very difficult. The only way that I could do that was if you wanted me to. I could come and pick it out, and when I can go pick it up from your place, I could just pick that. Has nothing to do with us, I think.
Promise. Okay.
I love you, baby. I'll call you tonight. No, you won't. You'll leave me high and dry because you're dirty.
I think Kevin just goes bald like it's Wicked.
Yeah.
Bald. Dun, dun.
You buy underwear with holes in it? Of course I do. And then I make some more, and that's when I know it's time to get new ones.
I do the thing where I have a MeUndies subscription that I'll turn off and then turn on, and then you get a pair a month for about 6 months, and then you rotate the old ones out and then turn it off, and then that's it.
That's fair. I mean, there's see, this is the funny thing, is that like as I've been losing weight. What's up, Ved? How are you? Welcome. As I lose weight, I've been leaving underwear in hotels where I just leave it in the garbage. Like I'm not. It's not like I leave it on the chairs or anything like that. Like I just throw out a pair of underwear, and I'm slowly transitioning to. So now I have because I have a bunch of underwear that don't fit.
Boxers or briefs?
Huh? All box. Oh yeah, no, I don't.
Okay.
I accidentally bought a pair of tidy whities. They're not white,
Yeah.
but they're
No.
and I'm like just briefs, and I'm like I don't even know what to. These are my backup.
Boxer briefs are the way to go. They offer the support of briefs without looking like a diaper. It's great.
I mean, that's it. What's up, Riot? It's called breathability for holes with underwear. Thank you very much. That's
okay.
fair.
Well, anyway, so the thing with the socks is like
Yes.
Dino would do that. So when I was in Japan, every little display of like quirky Japanese socks that I found, I like filmed it for my Instagram story, and then my response to it would get more and more unhinged.
Yeah.
So at first I was like, look at all the socks. Then by like the 12th one, I was like, socks. And then I was about to do like a really big one, and Katie smacked me over the back of the head and was like, babe, stop it. We're in public. I was like, all right, I'm not doing it again.
I feel like it's hilarious though. Like this is the thing is a lot of people's identity is attached to their socks and underwear, I found. And
that's fair.
I get it. I do. But like even still, a lot of times when I do those recordings, they'll have none that I can wear. And I'm just like sometimes they're cool ones, but
I got my sister so like we went to like a Studio Ghibli store. We didn't go to the museum because it's like expensive even for Japan. But in the store I got her like a Kiki's Delivery Service folder, a teacup with Kiki on it, and then socks with Gigi the cat.
Yes.
And she liked the socks the most, and I was like, okay, all right, glad that worked out that way then.
See, socks are Victoria has a ton of ridiculous socks. People have bought me socks, and most of the time they are they're up to size 12, and I wear size 14. So I just give them to Victoria, and then so she has like pizza socks and all sorts of stuff. Oh man, I want to go to Japan. Yeah,
it's pretty great. The fact that like the flight is the most expensive thing after everything, all the food, all the Disneyland tickets. I'll get to that in a bit. All of the gifts we bought for people because we did all our Christmas shopping in Japan. All of the everything. We had to take out cash twice because you can only refill your subway card with cash. But otherwise you can just use your Visa, like your American Visa.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. So like after everything, $600 for 8 days in Japan.
Then see that is reasonable.
That's amazing. I got back to the US and I was like, I could buy 7-Elevens where I can buy rice balls.
Yeah, I mean, and 7-Elevens that are like a proper fucking store. Like it's got everything.
We did the 7-Eleven dinner like twice. It was pretty awesome. Goodbye bidets on literally every single toilet, every single fucking toilet.
So, okay, this is the thing too, is that so I recently, you weren't around for this. So with everything that's been happening, we also had 2 pipes burst. Well, not burst, but had blockages and stuff. So there was an issue in my basement.
Wait. So you're saying that it's the Christmas season and your shitter's clogged?
Yes, that is 100% actual. And no, that's totally fair. And in turn, we went and so we updated toilets. We got these 2 tubes redone and everything. They had to dig up the ground. It was a whole big thing. But Victoria's like, I want to get a nice toilet for us because we have an ensuite. And I'm like, okay. So we got a Toto with a washlet. And
that's what you mean by Toto, because like on your social media, it's like day whatever with a Toto. I'm like, what the fuck is a Toto? I thought it was the like some kind of gadget. I was like, trying to tell by your face because it's not in the picture. So I'm like,
yeah, it's correct. It is because it is essentially the thing that goes on top of your toilet and it washes. And this one is electric, so it actually is heated. It is it cleans out your butthole, and then it also has a dryer as well. So like all of my normal usages are changing, and I'm like also like I don't know if I can go back. I'm afraid to poop in other places, I'll tell you that much. I flew from Mumbai to Sydney yesterday and the underwear. So, but Sydney is crazy expensive. So I would suggest, yeah, and also too, go to Mumbai. That's where all the clothes are made, right?
We
So
were like spitballing things like, where do we want to go on our next trip? And like, I don't know, probably somewhere in Europe, but we don't know where.
go to Prague.
Prague.
So this is the thing too, is that there's Europe and then there's Europe, right? So if you want to go to Italy and you go to the Amalfi Coast, you're going to spend thousands upon thousands and upon thousands of dollars, and you're not going to have a great time, because to have a great time at the Amalfi Coast, you need millions of dollars, and then you have a great time. So the whole idea is you have to find places that are not necessarily off the beaten path, but a little more, they have a lower cost of living type of situation. So like the best part about Greece is once you get to Greece, everything's dirt cheap. Yep. And even for them, when they're like, we're going to scam you with tourist prices, you're like, this is still a quarter of the price of when I go home. So I don't really care.
But it's all the euro, right?
Yeah. But still, Toto is one of the higher rated toilet brands. Number 1 is Toto. Number 2 is Kohler. Yes, I had to do research. Yeah, she did.
Starting UK, well, as someone from the UK, I can trust that, I think.
Yeah.
Our friends who like live near us have a bidet. It's not Toto, it's something else. But one time we were over there visiting and I used the bidet and it wouldn't turn off. And then I was in this awkward position of I have water shooting up my butt and I can't move. So I'm like trying to reach the plug, like, and you have to like angle it just right where the water keeps shooting up your butt, so you don't stand up and then the water goes everywhere. And you're like, correct, finally got it.
Yeah.
Hello from Korea.
Wow. What's up, Siddhartha? Yeah.
So yeah, in terms of like our flight there, we flew on Singapore Airlines and made the mistake of thinking that like every other airplane there would be a little fan in the ceiling. You know, you like turn the light thing and there's no fan. So Katie and I are in like long sleeve shirts and I'm in my usual like crappy dad sweater. And then she has this like winter jacket that her mom got her. No, don't do that. There's no fan in the ceiling. 12 hours of us just sweating to death the entire time.
Oh, that's
compounded by the fact that they don't really give you much water. It's like a little Jello cup of water.
Correct.
Twice.
Yeah.
And that's it. So we got to Japan, went to one of the many plentiful vending machines, bought bottles of water and just chugged them because we were like,
I feel like they're getting ahead of the problem, make sure nobody uses the facility.
That's what I was thinking too. Like they don't want to give you too many beverages, so you crowd out the bathroom because it's a bigger plane with more people.
Yeah.
Like
you know there are problems with people who are just like, I'm gonna sit in the bathroom the whole time. You're like, you're a piece of garbage. Just get the fuck out.
You. It was pretty good airline food for what it was. They gave us like chicken stuff. It was good.
That's not bad.
So we get to Japan. It's like 9 p.m. Japan time.
Fair enough.
Get off customs was really quick because they're like, oh, you're white people, just keep moving. One thing I did notice was that like Japan really embraces its characters.
Yes.
Where like we got off the plane and on the wall as you're going down the escalator is a bunch of Mario characters being like, welcome to Japan. And
absolutely.
Digimon, Pokemon, they were Peanuts. Like they have Charlie Brown stuff everywhere.
Okay, lost. Yeah. So yeah, that's fair. I understand that. Yeah.
But like the fact that they embrace the fictional characters just to be like, you have Snoopy being like, go this way for the train or whatever.
Yeah.
Was really cool. I wish the US would do that more. Like you had Bugs Bunny or something being like, all right, bus stop this way. That would be awesome.
I think the problem isn't in Bugs Bunny. It's in Foghorn Leghorn coming into the mix and going, nah, I'll say, what are you boys doing here?
Yeah. Huh? You know what I mean? I'm just trying to think of like American made characters.
I know, but like Yosemite Sam being like, what are you miscreants doing here? Like, I mean, I feel like it could go really good, but also really bad.
Yeah, Mario was supposed to be their mascot for the Olympics, especially because they have Mario versus Sonic at the whatever Olympics video games.
I mean,
like,
that's only fair.
That seems like a layup. Did you see loads of Miffy and Doraemon characters there? I feel like if I saw them, I knew what they were, but I don't recognize the name.
That's what I do. And I'm like, oh, that guy. Like Victoria and I spend our time watching.
Miffy is the little bunny, and then
Doraemon is the robotic.
Oh, yeah. Doraemon we saw everywhere.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of Miffy, though. So we got there and we're just zombies. So
Yeah, of course.
we have a little like mishap with getting a new subway card, and like we're very tired, but we managed to get through it and get on the train to Shinjuku where we're staying.
Totally fair.
So we get there. By this point, it's like 11 p.m. and we check in, go upstairs. Our
What
room
time did your plane land? Here's a
like
question.
8 p.m.
You're still making great time for everything. That's fine.
Yeah. And of course, now is the time for me to gush about the fact that Tokyo's public transportation system is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And I would kill to have that kind of thing here in the US, because LA is getting better at it, but the problem is that they don't send enough trains. Like, like if I miss a train, they're like, okay, 10 minutes till the next one. Japan, 30 seconds to a minute.
So, the whole idea there is the predication that, oh, for us to run a train, there have to be people. No, it's a public service. The trains are always running, regardless of if there are passengers.
Yeah, it's
at
called,
all times. It is
demand
running
for a reason. Like, people will come if you build the trains. Yeah,
if you build it, they will come. That I heard that somewhere.
Yeah,
that is the thing. That's the real thing.
God, did we ever do like a like baseball episode of this show? Because I don't know how much of the baseball culture is up there. Because you have the Blue Jays, and then what? Is that it? Or I don't know.
I know, despite how I look, I am not a master of sportsmanship and things. Yeah,
okay.
That's not really my forte. Now, granted, I was here. Like we went downtown. What's up, Cash? We went downtown when the Blue Jays won, and which was awesome. I was very young at the time, but we drove through, and bounced around a few places, and then came back. But yeah. So there is a big baseball culture, and like I've gone to games a few times and stuff. Like it's very enjoyable, but yeah, not necessarily a huge thing.
I know that Geddy Lee, the bass player from Rush, is a big Blue Jays fan. Like he goes to games all the time. Just side note about baseball. Ohtani, who's a famous player for the Dodgers, he was the guy who like fucked up his elbow during the World Series this year. Sliding into second, there was like cardboard cutouts and posters of him fucking everywhere. It was great.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I said, Japan supports their characters.
And see, but that's the thing is Japan has striked a very fine happy medium with regards to being instructive, but also everyone following the rules. So you're like, it's a little easier because you don't have jackasses everywhere just going like, oh, I'm just gonna do this and it'll be cool. But like, no, it's not.
Yeah. They have posters in all the subway stations being like, shut the fuck up on the train.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear you. Quiet.
Which is like the idea of a quiet train is a unique experience. But then where they're like, no, nobody eats, nobody talks, just shut up, get to your destination. You're like, honestly, that makes for a better ride for everybody, all parties included.
Yeah. So we're on the train to Shinjuku, very tired. Get to our hotel, we check in. It's like a cruise ship cabin. It is tiny.
Yes.
Which I figured. But here's my complaint, I guess, about Japan.
Yeah.
Is that country is made for people who are 5'7". I was big and dumb and in the way all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
I was doing this a lot, like trying to scrunch in my shoulders, like hunched over a lot. Meanwhile, my 5'1" wife was like, "This is great."
Yeah. This is life made for me. And you're like, God damn. Yeah.
I was looking around, being like, "Can I find someone here who's taller than me?" One guy, and he was Australian. Everybody else was the same height as me or smaller.
Yeah.
And like kind of nice where I can see where we're going, because she's like, "Where do we go?" And I'm like, "Over there. Here, let." And I know there's the joke about like, "Oh, you're Godzilla." No, Godzilla towered over buildings and picked up buses. I was just slightly too big for everything, which is worse. So
much worse. It is. That is fair. Yeah.
But they're just like, "Move, Whitey. You're like blocking the aisle in the train." I'm like, "I'm not trying to. I'm just stocky,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see. This is the thing is I've joked with this Victoria. Victoria wanted to go to Japan for years, and I was like, I don't really want to go because I don't really fit in Japan. Like I didn't fit in Hong Kong and China.
Like, I was
significantly
head on shit. Yeah.
So, and this is why I'm like, now that I'm significantly smaller, I'm like, oh, I should go to Japan, and people are like, yeah, you'll be fine, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be fine. I know I'm not going to be fine. I'm just not going to be as bad as I was before. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, all right.
I'll get to like being tall isn't necessarily a problem. It's being wide that's the problem. Because
Really?
almost every sidewalk has like a thing down the middle where it's like walk on the left, and then so like I had to undo all of the stuff, like because in the US it's go on the right, pass on the left, go on the right.
Right.
So I had to like it took a few days to get used to that.
Sure.
Um, but
Makes sense.
you get there. And then it was really nice going to see. I'll get to that later. All right, so we pass out, wake up,
Yeah.
And one of the weird things about this bathroom, which again tiny,
Yes.
but the water pressure is really good.
Always good.
At the same time, still too short for me. Like the tallest setting goes to my chest.
Nice.
So I just put it on the shorter setting and sat down like I was atoning for my sins.
Works.
In the tub, and that's how I took my showers. And every time Katie would be like, "Babe, are you okay?" Because it's tiny, so sound bounces around a lot, like all the squeaking of sitting down.
Yeah, that's a fair. We're getting to that, Victoria. Don't worry.
I'm just going through my trip like bit by bit here.
That's fine. Listen, I'm gonna get the best amount of detail from you than I would from anyone else, right? So there's a lot of touristy shit to do in Japan, but like the fact that you're just a little smaller than I am in convenient ways and still had issues, I'm like, I kind of want to go and get into a fight. That's what I definitely want to do while I'm there. Yeah. I'll wait till like the second or third last day, and then you'd be like, "All right, deport me. That's fine."
Victoria said, "Did we go to an onsen?" Which, to those who don't know, is like a bathing facility. Kind of. They had one in our hotel. I kept saying to myself, "I'm going to go to the onsen," and then just never did.
Yeah,
not on purpose. I just sort of Katie didn't want to go because she's a woman and was like gross, even though they separate them by gender. But also she has visible tattoos, so they had to have to give her stuff to cover up.
Can't do that.
So
can't let the heathens in. That's totally reasonable. Yeah, it might. And let's be honest, Katie does look like she could be a member of the Yakuza. Just throwing it out there. You don't know.
Does she?
Yeah, absolutely. Immediately. Tattoos, boom, Yakuza. That's the best part. Like I think I sent it to you, was a comic where like a house mom shows her tattoo and an old Japanese guy's like, Yakuza.
Oh, that's right.
You're like, that's hilarious because
some onsens provide nude stickers. Yeah, that's what they were saying. Like that they would give her one, but she's like, whatever.
Yeah, Victoria's like, they have tattoo friendly onsens. Yeah, for Yakuza, Victoria. You trying to get them killed? Jesus.
So on our first day, we wake up and go to God. What was the place? It was where one of the temples was, and then they had all this like little shopping. I got this keychain for myself where it's Snoopy on top of the temple instead of his doghouse.
That's cool.
Like that and a Pokemon figure were the only like souvenir thingies I bought for myself. Everything else was stuff for loved ones, which I asked if you wanted anything and you were like, no, don't want anything. So
no, that's correct.
I took your advice.
No, that's fine. And listen, it's well, that's the thing is, especially like I still got to send you maple syrup from up here. So that in and of itself,
even though you gave it to us for a wedding, which we're like about out of it at this point.
I know I gotta send. This is the problem is Cole. I brought him some down when I get down, but it's easier for me to go down there than it is to come to you. So I'm just gonna ship some out to you.
Okay.
But you're mindful and you're like, oh, we use it sparingly because it's special maple syrup. And Cole was like, I used it literally within 3 days after you left, and I ate it all. And I'm like, I understand it's there for eating, but now I got to buy him like a 4-gallon jug.
Well, he has a child, and children eat pancakes a lot more than adults do, I think.
Which I'm not sure if I'm for or against, but that is a valid point. That's fair.
So first day we're floating around that temple and looking at all the shops and got my mom her gift, and then we went into the Don Quixote store.
Yes, which is apparently a thing, which I find hilarious. But yeah.
So to those who don't know, Don Quixote, named after that book, by the way.
Yeah.
Even though it's spelled differently. And it's just a big department store. They got like it's 7 floors of like everything you could imagine. I got a bunch of my presents for people there, and that's where they have the what was the name of the guy? Did we have what was the name? God damn it!
Of which?
Where Victoria brought it up. Did you have the Miffy or whatever the other one was?
Doraemon.
Doraemon. So Doraemon is on the outside of the Don Quixote store, being like,
totally fair.
Did you find all the Kit Kats on the planet? Yes. That's what we did for people who didn't give us anything specific. Like my half siblings, I was like, "What do you want from Japan?" They're like, "Meh, I don't know," because they're 12 and 14 and don't want to have an opinion because they're afraid it'll look weird. So we bought like every Kit Kat flavor, blue cheesecake, matcha, lemon, apple, regular chocolate, strawberry, like everything, and then made little variety packs. And then if we forgot to get a gift for someone or whatever,
variety pack saves the day, 100%.
Except, I on the last day I was like, we need more, so I was just pulling stuff off the shelf at the 7-Eleven, and I can't read Japanese. 2 of them are boozy chocolates.
Nice.
I give boozy chocolates to a 12 and a 14-year-old.
Perfect.
Dad, am I getting kicked out of here? Like I can never come back? He's like, no, this is funny. Like
hilarious. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but in the Don Quixote, my brother-in-law Brian, shout out to Brian, I hate you. He wanted me to find this stupid watch. He's like, I want this specific Casio watch with the minimalist design.
Of course.
And they only sell it in Japan. He doesn't talk like that, but it's just
he does now. My name is Brian, and that is how I talk.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Took us 3 different stops, and then I finally found it, but it wasn't in the color he wanted because he's like, I wanted black. And I was like, is silver okay? And he was like, fine. And then that's what I got. So
Jesus.
Yeah.
Brian the prima donna. I mean, yeah, that's 100% how Brian's going to be.
Yeah.
Brian couldn't get the watch online. I mean, apparently Brian is not as internetly skilled, Victoria.
He could get the watch online, but he's like, you're going to Japan anyway. Just get it for me. That's my present. That's what I want. Which, fine. I like that he gave me something specific.
Yeah.
Instead of my sister being like, something Studio Ghibli. I don't care. Like, then you have to kind of guess a little bit.
This is the hard part is people need to give like, hey, what do you want as a gift? Because I'm going to this place. And if they have to say either something that's specific but not inconvenient, or something that is inconvenient but attached to an adventure. Like you can't be like, hey, I need you to go to every 7-Eleven and buy their specific. No, it's not going to happen. Don't be ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
So, but
like,
the fact that you bought it,
like something Pokemon, great. I can do that. That's awesome. Yeah. We're going to the Pokemon Center. Right?
Even if you forget something, you're just like, I have something in my pocket. Here you go. There's Pokemon. Enjoy.
I've been told buying online in Japan to be shipped to Japan is difficult. Otherwise, that's what I do when we go there in the future. Good to know.
Yeah. So Victoria does this where she'll be researching what hotel to get, and then she'll call the hotel and be like, hi, I'm thinking of booking with you. I was wondering what's your policy on me sending things in advance to the hotel. Is there a timeline, or like is there a fee or anything like that? And depending on how that conversation goes is how Victoria judges if to use that hotel. Because number one, if they don't get back to you in a timely manner, they're not going to take care of your packages. I don't want to be at a place like that. If they're not going to take care of your packages, how are they going to take care of your room? Fair, right? But then also too, Victoria will have like 27 packages shipped to a place in advance. Where we got to the hotel in Manchester, and there was like, oh, we have 36 boxes for you. I'm like, what? Why would you do that? And Victoria's like, I may have bought a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, we ended up shipping boxes back here because I bought a bunch.
Now I got to know what those things are.
All sort clothing and new stuff. Well, because Victoria's travel up until I became a problem was based around shopping. So now what she does is she'll pre-shop, so we don't have to do every day we're shopping somewhere else. Because I told her a few times, hey, I'm not here to shop. I'm here to see a place. So we're not doing that anymore. And she's like, oh, but I want to shop. I'm like, nobody cares. You can shop online. So she does. That's exactly it.
Yeah. I kind of like that. That's cool. Everywhere I travel, I do that to make life easier. Awesome. That's a good
No. She does it so that she can get away with it and I don't cause problems. It's not because then I still have to carry the shit around. This is bullshit.
Okay? That's the other thing. I walk so much faster than Katie, even with like how crowded of a city Tokyo
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
By the way, it's not like the sidewalks are crowded. All of the subway stations kind of connect with each other underground.
yeah,
Most of the traffic is down there. The
yeah.
actual sidewalk on the street is usually pretty empty. Um, but yeah, so I had to either kind of lock my knees and walk like a penguin to
Yeah.
walk at the speed of my wife, or I would volunteer to carry everything, and then that would encumber me enough, like I'm an RPG character,
100%.
to a speed where she could keep up with me because
That's totally fair.
she got little legs. So
She got little legs. That's fine. Victoria, I love how Victoria posted this. I did it once in New York, and the hotel I stayed at upgraded my to a 2-bedroom suite because of how much I shopped.
well, that's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
that is yes, but also no. Don't
Yeah.
do that. It's
Well,
too much.
one of the good things about shopping in Japan is that you can do it tax free if you spend over a certain amount, where they
Yeah.
like vacuum seal it, and then as long as you
Ooh.
don't open it when you're in Japan, you don't have to pay the tax on it. So all of our
Mm.
gifts, we just put them in. Like we did the trick where you put the suitcase inside the suitcase on the way
Yes,
there, then take it out, and then
of
put the
course.
tchotchkes in there and
Yep.
take them back. So
Everyone knows that trick, and if
oh
you
yeah.
don't, you're the weirdo that doesn't know that trick. Just
Did you go to
FYI.
the ramen museum? We did not.
How
See, like
dare you?
that even for 8 days, we didn't even get to see everything we wanted to see or know about stuff like that.
So here's my question. So far, we've gotten to middle day 1,
Yeah.
and you still have it. So
Yeah.
my assumption is you want to go back. Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
All
That's all I got. That's
right.
what's most important. Anyways, continue. Please.
All right. Day 2. We went to Tokyo Disney because I married a Katie and Katie loves Disney.
Yeah.
I think this is also an opportunity for her to dunk on her family because her family's like, we've been to Disneyland, we've been to Disney World. She's like, I want to cross the fucking planet, and I've been to Disney over there. Suck it. So,
What is this? I'm at the tailgate. Atlas is a legend. Dino is known regionally. I mean, that's fair. I appreciate you, Joey.
He showed up in the Nexus at Night weekly stream last night. He's like, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm here to support. And I was like, thanks, Joey.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. So, did you find limited edition Tokyo Disney merch? So I got like a hat or one of the ears because I don't like the ears thing, but she's like, just get one. I'm like, okay. So I got one where it's like World War I flying ace with the goggles in between the ears. It's still
suck it, Japan. Boom. World War One right there.
So the thing with Tokyo Disney is that it's not owned by Disney.
Oh.
A Japanese theme park company licenses the characters from Disney, but they can do whatever they want. So there are some rides that are still there, like Splash Mountain and the Matterhorn and stuff like that. But there are others, like there's a Beauty and the Beast ride that's so amazing. It's one of those like magnet rail things, like the Star Wars one.
Yeah.
And it goes through the whole movie. So at the end, when they're dancing with each other, the cart like kind of bobs up and down with them. Very cool. And then we got. I'll get to Disney Sea in a bit because that's where we got the limited edition merch. So Katie got Disney feet from walking around so much. Actually, come to think of it, through the whole trip because we were walking like 5 to 8 miles a day, just doing stuff.
Yeah,
I got used to it around day 3.
Yeah,
but little legs, it's harder for
her. That's 100% accurate. Yeah.
So we did that. Also, the parade is a big deal there.
Yeah.
That I didn't realize. Like in the US, like, yeah, it's the parade. Keep moving. But in Japan, there are little like numbers on the ground and you reserve your space in advance and people come and they sit and the park shuts the fuck down when the parade is going on.
That's pretty awesome.
So like if you're trying to cross from one part of the park to another, can't cross till they're done. Got to wait till they finish. Which was also funny because we were fighting with each other when we were trying to cross the park, and that made it even more frustrating. Like we were like annoyed with each other.
Sit here and enjoy it. Yeah.
So we waited for them to cross, and then they're like, "Okay, you can cross." We're like, "Okay." It's interesting seeing what characters caught on in Japan versus in the US. Like Stitch, super popular there. Like he has his own ride.
Yeah.
Baymax from Big Hero 6 is in like every single store.
Yeah.
Disney anything. Yeah. That one makes sense because it's like a send up of Tokyo anyway.
Yeah.
In Big Hero 6. But
well, I just wish that I could have been Big Hero 6 like as a Halloween costume like the Baymax,
Baymax.
just because I'm like that would have been like just my size. Like I would just
Yeah.
painted myself white and be like, I'm Baymax. That's just it.
Yeah.
Right? But
Or just put on a ghost costume and tie it down by your ankles, and then you're done.
I mean, it would have worked. How many pairs of shoes did you bring? That's a good question.
I had my shoes and my slippers. That's it.
Yeah. So that is Victoria. Victoria is like, I had 19 pairs of shoes and I still bought another 6. Baymax is awesome. It's true. Dino, we can make it happen for next Halloween. I mean, it's not a bad idea, Victoria.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Splash Mountain is still racist over there. They still have it based on Song of the South.
Nice.
It was also really funny going into the rides where obviously they're all going to speak Japanese, but
yes,
it's fun picking out the little bits you can either pick out by, watching anime and you already figured out what the word means, or even funnier when they pronounce an English word. So we're on the Haunted Mansion ride where they have it all done up for Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's like Japanese, Karistmas. Japanese. So
I honestly thought you were going booga booga. And I was just like, that's horrible.
No,
that's much worse.
Trying not to be racist, but like but like every time we saw something like Christmassy, we would just turn to each other and go, Christmas.
Yeah.
Always bring extra pairs so you don't get messed up feet for traveling. Victoria, I don't think that's the problem. The problem is that we were walking so far. Like a different pair of shoes isn't going to do anything. I was wearing the shoes that I teach in, which has like a lot of support.
You would be surprised because when Victoria will go like 12 miles a day walking. It's insane. And then she's like, oh, now I need a new pair of shoes because that one is like literally you have shoes that are supposed to do like 150,000 steps. Victoria will plow through those in a few days. And she's just like, yeah, she's a monster. Yeah. No, that's fair. That's exciting. I see. That's the thing is a lot of people aren't aware about this, but is that Japan is still super racist. And that is also that's not exclusive to any race because white people also not allowed in. Fucking hilarious. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest.
Like I get it why they kept it like Song of the South because slavery isn't a scar on Japan. Like there's no reason for them to change it.
Well, they don't admit to it anyway. So
also, it's
never happened. Yeah,
or like the transatlantic slave trade, that in particular.
Sure.
And then like it's not owned by Disney, so there's no reason for them to be like you turned it into this. They're just like, okay, whatever. They're singing Zippity Doodah in Japanese. It's funny, but there's no replacement. It's Zippity Doodah. It's just like nonsense words, and then they go back to the Japanese,
which is fantastic.
Yeah. Let's see. So that's day 2. If people want to see more about this, Katie made like little TikToks at the end of each day. So follow Hey, it's Miss Katie on TikTok, and that's Katey. Yeah. But yeah, Hey, it's Miss Katie on TikTok, and she did like 6 of them. So that's day 2. Day 3, we were gonna go to Disney Sea, but she's like, my feet are killing me, man. We got to move that back a day, go somewhere else. So we went to Shibuya, day 3, which was pretty cool. So Shibuya, that's the one with the big crossing with all the people.
Yeah.
And then usually, like the Starbucks on one of the corners is up on the 2nd floor, so you're supposed to go up there and like film it through the window.
Right.
I thought it was funnier to turn my camera on as we were crossing the street in the middle of everybody because I'm taller than everybody. And then she's like, babe, put it away. I'm like, it's fine. And then got to the other side of the street.
It's fine. I'm American. I could do whatever I want.
I wasn't interrupting anybody. I was walking and keeping pace and everything.
Doesn't matter. Immediately, people were like, fucking Americans do whatever we want. Son of a bitch. Yeah. That's fair.
So did that. We have the statue of Hachiko, the dog who waited for his owner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It turns out that they wash it every day. Because we got there early and like 6 dudes come out of the subway with like mops and shit, and they're like strumming it down and doing that, and then they disappeared back into the subway.
I mean, who doesn't want that for their own house? Be like, yeah, 6 guys come out of the ground, they clean everything up, and then they leave.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
But yeah, for people who are like, what's Hachiko? If you've ever seen the episode of Futurama with Fry's dog, that's pretty much
and you haven't had a good cry lately?
Yeah.
There you go. You're welcome. It will destroy your face.
Yeah,
the dog waited for him. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Shibuya is also where Pokemon Center is. So I have wanted to go to Pokemon Center since I was 10 years old.
Makes
And
sense.
then we finally got there, and I'm like, I'm a 30-year-old man. Don't lose your shit.
He lost his shit.
No, I didn't. Like, I managed to keep it all under control, but like, it was really tough.
I have to message Katie and be like, "Hey, do you have any video of Atlas losing his shit?" And she's like, "I do, specifically from the Pokemon Center." That's just yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. So that's fine.
Call my bluff, old man. And then so that's where we got like one of her coworkers loves Snorlax, so we got Snorlax stuff.
That's fair.
Our nephews got stuff for them there. Friend of the pod / my best them, Emrys got their gifts there. I still need to bring it to them somehow.
Yeah.
Because we're back in the States and I haven't seen them yet. So got the bulk of our gift shopping done there.
Yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't you? That, if anything, that makes the most sense, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So did that, and then we also went to, after that, this park where they had the Meiji shrine, like the Emperor Meiji, which is big Shinto entrance, and you walk through, and it's this big path. They had some tours, but we were like, "Fuck this, I'm tired."
Yeah,
so
also fair. Yeah.
Like I'm looking at the stuff. Like part of this trip, I'm like, I'm so down for Japan, but we gotta visit like the history stuff because
yeah.
So we're going through, and in the middle of the park, they have a bunch of sake barrels on one side and a bunch of wine barrels on the other. And it was supposed to represent the Japanese spirit Western technique of the Meiji Restoration. And for people who don't know, that was like after the Opium Wars in China, where China got curb stomped by the UK and Germany, and like what,
or as they call it, the creation of Hong Kong and better trade in the eastern provinces.
That's pretty much what that was. Yeah. So after that happened, Matthew Perry, not the one from Friends, different Matthew Perry.
He may be still alive. You don't know. Maybe he's a time traveler. It's fine. Could have been the same one.
Shows up in at Obey at the time, which is Tokyo nowadays. So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Bang, 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 and then was shooting stuff. No, it was basically like trade with us or we'll kill you. Yes. And then Emperor, he becomes Emperor Meiji, but he's like, if we don't modernize, we're gonna die like hard, because we saw it happen to China. So in like 30 years, they modernized the country from like a feudal samurai culture to the militaristic Japan you see before you that eventually caused Pearl Harbor. But because the original slogan before Perry showed up was "Revere the Emperor, expel the barbarians." Yes. And then by the end, Japanese spirit, Western technique. Obviously, samurai weren't happy about that. And there was something called the Satsuma Rebellion, which the last battle of it took place on my birthday, February 19th.
There you go.
So it was fun, like walking through that and looking at all the like stuff about the Meiji Restoration in that park.
See, this is the thing: is I still subscribe to that motto of obey the emperor and expel the barbarian. 100%. That is my life motto. That's like, I feel like if anything, we should go back to that.
Who are the barbarians?
I mean, that's fine. hey, I'm not the barbarian land. Somebody else is, so that's fine.
The one thing I should bring up here is that literally everywhere you go, there is a vending machine or a cafe or somewhere to get food. It seems like the national motto of Japan is you look like you need a snack.
Yes. And then to fat shame you immediately by making very small shares.
Yeah. The portions, I'm like, this is really not doing it for me, but I get it. So, but like in the middle of that park, we walked out of the subway station, there's a cafe. We're walking through the park, there's a cafe in the middle of that park.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And then
how did you find it? Okay, so here's a question. Did you experience any of the nightlife? Did you guys go out at nighttime?
No, she's an early bird. So like she took a longer time to accumulate to the time change.
Makes sense.
So she'd get up at like 2 a.m. and be like, I'm awake. And I'm like, no, go back to sleep. It's frowned upon to eat while walking in Japan.
Jesus.
Well, the good thing is we mostly didn't do that because we're not
psychopaths.
Not psychopaths. We're not coordinated. It was more about like we didn't want to drop it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Also, too, you know what, right? Japan, I was up and okay with your racism until you didn't let me walk around with a sandwich. I have a problem with that, and we'll fight. I'll 100% fight you.
people were like, because we got up pretty early in the morning, like
Yeah.
you would see people come out of their shops and like sweep the sidewalk in front of them and then go back in. So that's how the city stays so clean, I think, is there's like a social contract of like clean up what's directly in front of you.
Well,
and then when we all do it.
It's an entire society based on a real social contract that you will be shunned if you do not follow, right? Like that's the one thing about Japan is that like when everyone's quiet, everyone stays quiet.
Even like we were watching like 5-6-year-old kids get on the train coming home from school. They shut the fuck up on the train.
And you're going like, honestly, this is the thing. It's a message to everyone. Beat your children an appropriate amount, not too much, just enough. You want to beat them so that they know when to shut their goddamn yapper. It's that simple.
That's gonna get clipped and thrown back at us in about 5 years, I guarantee.
I want it clipped this week. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, no, like that's what people forget is that you're like, listen, you can any excess of anything is man's failure, right? When you have an excess of anything in your life, it will cause problems. And in the same sense, Japan, your racism was churlish and embraceable, but now you're like, you can't walk and eat. You're like, listen, I'm on a schedule, bro. How are you going to do that to me? That's not, I can't do it. But that's the whole, like, if you don't have those, like the idea, did you have any issues with regards to finding a garbage? So my understanding is if you have garbage, put it in your pocket. And when you get home, you can throw it away.
There's not garbage cans on like every corner like there is in the US. So the idea was I had this backpack that I carry around mostly for shopping, but I would put a plastic bag in it and be like, all right, throw your shit in the bag. And then at the end of the day, it was usually in the hotel. There was a big and then go on the elevator.
Yeah.
But like that was a rhythm. Like we knew it was going to happen and it was very easy to get used to. So that was fine, I think. So after the Meiji walk, we went back to our hotel. Nightlife, not really much of a thing with us, but there were a couple of times where she would send me to go get something, or I wanted to get something, and she's like, "I'm tired." So, for example, one friend of mine was like, "I want this specific bento box from this specific department store."
Fair.
And I was like, I'm going to go get this. And she's like, okay, I'll just be sitting here watching Smosh videos. We didn't have access to any of our streaming services because we're on Japanese Wi-Fi and we didn't want to get a VPN. So it was just YouTube. But
then you may have been able to watch like Japanese Netflix and it would have been cool. You never know. You should try it. Anyways.
No, we tried to log in. It was just like.
Oh, man. Sucks to be you. You're like, oh, that's good. Thank you. Yeah.
So I went to go get this bento box and it was fun like walking around by myself at a pace that I can move at normally. Walking around Shinjuku, going like there was just a mall at the back of our neighborhood. Floating around this mall by myself. And then got these bento boxes. So Valerie, if you're listening,
we got it. Mission accomplished. That's fun. Yeah.
So did it, and then like I don't know, you just kind of meander on your way back. It feels like a very safe city. Like I didn't think I was going to get mugged, and even if I did, I was twice the guy's size probably. So
which I would have paid to watch like six tiny little midgets come up to
or not even that, just one guy being with a knife, and then I just go shove.
No. Oh, and it's like right through a brick wall. Like immediately you become Godzilla, you grow a tail. It'd be funny. It'd be hilarious.
There's a friend of mine who teaches middle school, and there was a kid who like wanted to throw hands with him, and he like goes to push him, and it just kind of bounces off his chest. That's what I was imagining. Japan is safe. I wouldn't worry about traveling there. Yeah, like even Katie felt safe aside from like she didn't get groped, but she was worried about it. But I saw a lot of guys who like on the train, if they were standing up, they were holding both things.
Yeah.
Just to show like I'm not doing anything, I swear. Just
I
just want to get to my destination and leave, which good. So that was one of my little excursions. She wanted me to get her a journal to she's gotten into something called junk journaling, which is like scrapbooking, but not necessarily with photos.
Ooh.
So it was things like from our Japan trip, she took like part of the brochure from the Meiji Shrine and our tickets from Tokyo Disneyland and all that stuff.
Like how they did scrapbooking before we had the pictures. I like it.
Pretty much.
No problem.
So stuff like that. It was kind of fun going down on my own, and I had my little side level. So
Yeah.
So that's day 3. Day 4, Tokyo Disney Sea, which is like their California adventure, and it's very cool.
Yeah.
Went on Journey to the Center of the Earth roller coaster,
Mm.
which was a really cool roller coaster. And it had like all these crystal looking kaiju stuff in it, like scorpion looking things and lava and shit like that. It was very cool. They're like, no phones, because it wasn't even like we don't want to show the outside world. It moves too fast. Your phone would just go out of your hand.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like it went really fast.
That'd be really cool.
So there was that. There was like a lot of it was just kind of a vibe. Like you go into the Little Mermaid area, it's underground, and like you can see it in once again at Hey Miss Katie on TikTok. Like it's just these puffer fish and there's seaweed and it's this dark green, and it was really cool.
That is cool.
They have an Aladdin area, which we didn't really go into all that much because it was fucking freezing, and the Aladdin one's all outside. We're like,
that's fair. Yeah, that's reasonable.
There was also, this one is new, they have the Fantasyland where it's like Tangled, Frozen, and Peter Pan.
That's fair.
That's where we got her mom's present, which was a Disney has like the popcorn buckets.
Yes.
So we got her this one where it looks like Big Ben, and there's like the darling kids on either side.
I know a little bit about weird popcorn buckets that people get for absolutely no reason that they shouldn't have in their house, but they're still going to have it. So yeah.
So you have that, and then like Peter and Tink on the other ends of the box. Then on top, there's another Tinkerbell.
That'd be very cool.
So if you like, I forgot to take a picture of it. I think it's in one of once again at Hey Miss Katie on TikTok. One of those. So yeah, that was really fun, and then that was pretty much all day. Came home. That night was when I got the junk journal. There, like when I was doing it on my Instagram story, there was the thing where my coat was fluttering in the wind. Katie was like, "Is it snowing?" I'm like, "That's street debris. Those are leaves and shit." For people wondering about the weather, it was about like the coldest it got was like 35 Fahrenheit, which I believe is what, like 3 or 4 C, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Just above freezing, right?
Yeah.
And then the warmest it got was about 55 Fahrenheit, which is about 12, 13 Celsius.
Did it go below zero much or no?
No, it never went below.
Okay, so
no, never did.
So between 4 and 12 degrees, yeah, I could pull that off with a couple of hoodies. I'd be fine. Yeah.
I just had like the dad sweater and the hat. You see me in the hat a lot with the poppy on it. That was good for the entire trip. So yeah.
I feel like I'd have to bust out this hat and just be like, "Yeah, what's up?" And that's how I'd walk around, and people be like, "Oh, look, he's clearly he's Japanese. It's fine." Like, yeah, what's
up? So day 5, we went to Harajuku and Akihabara together. So Akihabara was where we finally figured out Brian's stupid fucking watch with the minimalist design.
Brian, the minimalist.
Yes. So we did that, and then in Harajuku, she really had a lot of fun. We went to a Lush there, and I don't really know what happens in Lush. I was just kind of like, go have fun. I'll be at the door.
That's
there was a place that there's a store. It's called Strawberry Fetish, which you that was on the Instagram story where like I'm in front of the Strawberry Fetish being like, it's kind of a weird name.
I remember that. Yeah. Like Strawberry Fetish. You're like, why? I have questions.
It's like all strawberry. It's all strawberry stuff. So like she got these candied strawberries. They look like glass on a stick, and you just bite into them and they crumble. And then I got like a strawberry milk. They're really good at doing like a whipped milk thing plus a fruit. So good.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good question. Well, how did you find dairy?
Oh, I was fine. I'm not lactose intolerant.
I know. No, but you are. But I'm asking, did you find it very different?
A little bit. It's a little sweeter.
Yeah.
Dairy. In terms of like confections in general, everything is less sweet, but more whatever the thing is. So soda, for example, less sweet, more fizzy.
So this is the highest Asian compliment you can get for a dessert is, ooh, not so sweet. That is the peak
Not
Yeah.
too sweet.
Not too sweet. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
because, and this is a thing that happens in North American cuisine, is that things get bombarded with too much sugar,
Yeah.
and you're like, all it tastes is sugar. Like the nuances of the thing. You're like, that's why, like, you go to a French patisserie and you're like, yeah, no, none of this had, like, there's a little amount of sugar as possible. So all the other flats, like butter and pastries and this flavor and that flavor, all are popping out instead of just sugar. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Dr. Pepper there is terrible. Like Dr.
Oh,
Pepper is my favorite soda.
yeah.
Did you have the opportunity to try milk from Hokkaido? We didn't. Or if we did, I didn't know what was going on because I can't read Japanese.
Also, yeah. So nothing was written in English. Yes.
Well, there were okay. So on the subway, they would have like the Japanese version and then the English version, back and
That's
forth.
fair. Yeah.
I had the translator app on my phone, but your mileage may vary. And then like the thing with you take a picture and then it'll like translate it for you, but it's never quite as good as you want it to be.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So it was mostly like trying to go by context clues or waiting for the English version. There was a lot of English
okay.
in Japan. I think like they know how many tourists they get, so they're trying to be as friendly as possible.
Well, did you? I know I'm derailing your play-by-play, but did you have anything that you were rejected from doing? Because I know there are a few tourist attractions that were shut down because tourists were pain in the ass.
And it was no, like, It's a Small World was closed, which Katie wanted to see in Japanese.
It is not a small world. It is only the world that the emperor chooses.
Yeah, pretty much. No, it was just it was shut down. She wanted to get the popcorn bucket from there, but it was shut down.
That's fair.
Yeah. So let's see. We went to what was I saying? We didn't get shut out of anything. We saw a black guy get shut out of something, though.
Really?
Sad. Yeah.
They let black people in there. Jesus.
I felt bad for the guy because he was with like white people and they're just like, no, just him. And like, come on, guys. It's fucked up.
See, it made some chocolate raspberry hazelnut coffee. I mean, like nice. That's how you spend a Sunday. Serge. So really, did your popcorn bucket come with a popcorn holder? That is a fair question.
I don't know. I didn't look at the inside. But when we gave it to Sally, she was very pleased with herself.
Well, that's all that matters. Yeah. Okay.
Sally is my mother-in-law, by the way.
Yeah. Well, then, she's the only one that had to be happy, other than Brian. And then realistically, it's fine.
It might have. I didn't get to see the inside. We kept it. Again, we had to do the tax-free thing where they vacuum seal it. So I didn't really get to see the intricacies of the inside of the bucket.
Oh, because there's Mickey Mouse tongs that are attached to it.
I think she's more going to use it for decoration.
Yeah.
Like we know we did well when she was like, I'm using this year round. We're like, fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
Not just Christmas decorations. Yeah.
All right, so there was that. And then what else? What about cuisine wise? What was highlight and your go-to?
Okay. So lots of fish and rice, lots of ramen. I think our favorite place was we went to like a sushi place down the street from our hotel. And maybe that's like not recency bias, but the bubble you live in bias, where you're like, oh, it's just down the street.
Right.
We had it once at the beginning, once at the end. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
However, across the street was an Italian place. Guess what they use for red sauce?
Tell me it's not ketchup.
It's ketchup. I thought, okay, my wife is Italian. I thought she was going to punch the maitre d'. Because she's like, what do you use for red sauce? They go, ketchup. And she's like, Lena, I'm like, no. Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah. Like, that's a fair question. Was it Jollibee? Because it's also.
I can't remember the name.
It's fair. Because there are places that use that and you're just like, no, they're like, it's spaghetti with ketchup. You're like,
no.
Oh my God, that's gross. What's wrong with you? Why would you? And people are like, oh, it's delicious. You're like, no, it's not.
WTF
ketchup. Serge, it's a crazy world out there, sir. Okay. Crazy.
Yeah,
that's fair.
We did the 7-Eleven dinner a lot. Just because our feet hurt so much. We'll just grab something and go back.
Did you use the 7-Eleven to transport your luggage at all, or no?
No. Wait.
No.
What?
Yeah.
How does that work?
So exactly the same way. So like at the airport, you could have just hired them at the 7-Eleven and they would take your luggage to your hotel.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so cool. I got to remember that for them.
but they'll do that. So like one of the big things for that is like if you're traveling within Japan,
Yeah.
you can use that, and they'll transfer from one 7-Eleven to another 7-Eleven, so that you don't have to carry. So you could just go like with your backpack instead of having to carry luggage and shit.
Yeah.
Did you try egg salad sandwiches at 7-Eleven? Also, a good question.
Very good. Very good egg salad sandwiches.
Was there?
She was looking for the fruit ones.
Yes, with cream. Yeah.
We found whipped cream, but no fruit. It was just whipped cream.
Really?
Yeah. And I was kind of bummed out for her. I'm like, that I just wanted to try that out of curiosity.
100%, right? Because it's just a whipped cream sandwich with some fruit, which I'm like, I mean,
so much onigiri.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's
a good snack. It's fine.
Yeah. But it would be like you buy a bunch of stuff in the morning and then keep it in the bag and then just grab one as you're walking.
Yep.
And then like, oh God, like after about 5 days, I was starting to like get a little bored with like Japanese cuisine, fish and rice, that ramen. It started to wear on me.
Yeah, that's fine.
So just flashing forward a little bit, the first thing we did when we got home from the plane was we ordered a pizza, an actual pizza without ketchup. Watched Meet Me in St. Louis because that's a Christmas movie, and then passed the fuck out. And I was like, what a great way. They have steak there. Yeah, I didn't get to eat steak, and I kind of wish I had because I know they have like Kobe and Wagyu and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's something I just missed. Let's see. Day 6 was we went to Tokyo Skytree. And then that's basically like their Space Needle. You go on a thing really high above the city, and
you look down on all the peasants.
Yeah. There's that. They have a little wishing thing where you get a ribbon, you write your wish on it, you tie it to the thing, and it's supposed to come true. So did that. They had a Kirby cafe, which we didn't go into, but I was like, cool.
I saw that picture of the Kirby, and I was like, I have more questions about that. I was going to actually use that until I found a picture of the. Until I found this picture that is way cooler with the cherry blossoms and everything. Then I was going to use that.
Well, the reason we didn't go in was next to it they had like a pop-up Christmas village.
Christmas,
and it was very interesting to see like because Christianity never really got a foothold in Japan.
Thank Christ.
Yeah, pretty much. Christmas is more just of an aesthetic, right?
Yes.
So when looking at the Christmas village, on top of all the buildings and stuff, you can see it in Hey, It's Miss Katie's TikTok. They have like Santa next to the Virgin Mary, next to like one wise man, just one of them.
That's right.
And then like Joseph's way the fuck over here. There's no baby Jesus, and like it's just an aesthetic to them.
Godzilla's in the water with lights. That's fair.
They eat KFC because that's like an American Christmas meal. Yeah, KFC Christmas, like Serge was 100%. Saying. Yeah, we didn't get to do that because you have to order it months in advance, but it's apparently chicken lasagna. Yeah.
I would want that desperately.
So
chicken and lasagna. That is like high class. I like it.
I got like a bread bowl with fondue in it, and I was like, this is great. I love bread bowls. I got like a last night we went over to a family friend of ours dinner party. It was like a Christmas party plus cake, pretty much. Dinner party, and then we last minute got like some charcuterie stuff and a big loaf of bread.
Yeah,
and they're like, we already have too much charcuterie. You can keep your stuff. And I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge win. Did anyone ever approach you for did you ever get approached weirdly? So like. No, nothing.
Actually, no. There was one guy. So on the first day when we were walking around like Don Quixote, we went to Ueno Park and stuff. There was a guy who he was like a man on the street YouTuber.
Yeah.
So he like interviewed us for a little bit, but that was about it.
Interesting.
There was one where Katie asked for directions from like a school-aged. Did you get pointed at on the street? Fucking constantly. You get used to it after a while.
I'm looking forward to going.
There was this one like school-aged kid that Katie asked for directions, and then at the end Katie goes like arigato gozaimasu, like thank you very much, and then the girl goes, do I say you're welcome in English? And Katie was like, yeah.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
It was such a great moment that I unfortunately was not there for because my back was turned. But,
Atlas out here freaking out about Pokemon, missing all the good stuff. That's fair. No, that's fine.
So that was day 6. At the end of day 6, I went to...
I had to kill a man.
No. So there is a for people who follow me in the other sphere that I occupy, the Card Fight Vanguard sphere. There is a big YouTuber in that sphere named Different Fight. Different Fight has been covering Vanguard pretty much since the beginning. And we have known each other, me and him, since like 2016. We have never met in person. The closest we had been was a couple of years ago. They had the World Championships in LA.
Yeah.
And he's now within Boucher, the company that makes Vanguard, enough to where they like have him cover events for the West.
Oh, okay.
He's from Luxembourg. So they fly him everywhere. This is why he lives in Tokyo now.
Yeah.
He's like he works for Boucher. So I went to dinner with him. I was like, you want to get dinner? I'm in Tokyo. So Katie went to bed, and then I was going to go there. And then the link he sent me of the restaurant we were going to didn't work on my phone. And I was like, what's the name of the thing? Because it was a katsu place. So I'm like, katsu, 80,000 things. I'm like, okay, I can't guess. I had to turn around on the train, go back, run up the hotel. Because I called Katie. I'm like, can you look on my computer? She was asleep. So ran up to my hotel room, looked at it. I'm like, okay, got it. And then went back. And so I was a little late. But it was nice. Somebody you've known for almost a decade, but have never met in person.
Yeah.
And he is, this like thin blonde guy. I thought he was going to be like 5'9", because I've only ever seen him sitting. He's 6'2". He's your height. He's this tall, thin guy. So I had this wonderful dinner with like just somebody who I've known a lot and talked to a lot.
Yeah.
And that was like meeting in person.
Yeah.
So, talking about like the state of the game we play and like what it's like living here. And I was like, what do you do about clothes? Because clothes were a big problem of like, my mom was like, get me something clothes. And I'm looking through, I'm like, how the fuck am I going to know if this is going to fit her?
Yeah.
Medium doesn't mean anything. Like,
not a thing. Yeah.
So I ended up going the quirky route where when I was a kid, my mom loved Psyduck from Pokemon because it always has a headache. And she's like, I always have a headache. So I got her like Psyduck socks, a new Psyduck figure, a keychain. And then they had this like hand cream wall that was like every day of the year has a different hand cream. So we got one for her birthday from...
Fair enough.
Yeah. So that was her gift, was all of those together.
Victoria asked, did you do shabu shabu?
Shabu shabu. Yeah, we did.
They did. And also, I remember shoes only went to size 9 women's when I was there.
Katie is a size 8 women's, and we actually had to get these like insoles for her because her feet were hurting so much.
Yeah.
They were like $100 American. They were very expensive.
But, for real. Wow.
But they worked. So
no, that's all that matters.
But the fact that was 1/6 of our cost, and we still only spent $600.
Did you go for any like massages or anything like that? No.
That seemed like, damn, we should have done that. It would have been cool.
Well, so this is the thing is, because remember, I have a history of traveling as a gigantic obese man, right? So I am very, very careful. Like, listen, if we're doing one day of shopping, the next day is going to be
chill,
personal care. We're chilling out, we're relaxing, maybe some good food, maybe I get drunk, something like that. That's what the whole thing is, right? I'm like, we can't do things every single day because I need to relax. I'm on vacation. I'm just chilling out, doing nothing in a different place. That's all.
Yeah,
that's the whole idea.
Because there's the chilling vacation and the doing vacation. This was a doing vacation.
So, but that's the thing is, because of my limitations as a gigantic fat person, I'm like, even if we're doing stuff, we have to spread it out. So now we're trying to find our balance in that, because I'm like, I can do stuff every day, but I don't like doing stuff every day because I'm still a grumpy old man. I prefer doing like 2 things at the most, and then I need a day off because I'm old and I'm tired of everything. So basically,
the The onsen would have really helped with relaxing after all that walking. Yeah,
Oh
probably.
yeah, probably.
Like
Yeah.
she probably could have used it better than me. I was good by day 3. Like I was
Yeah.
getting used to the rhythm of everything. And that was pretty much it for the most part. We, the flight back, we learned our lesson. Short sleeve shirts, coat you can take off,
Yep.
and then bring a bottle of water on the plane.
Yeah.
Uh, so we did all that, and then we had Japanese McDonald's on our way out in the
Nice.
airport.
What'd you get?
So we just got like their big version of a Big Mac, which is a burger cooked in soy sauce. It's amazing.
Yeah, soy sauce is just.
I'm gonna try cooking a burger in soy sauce next time I do that. Like that's.
Listen, you should come on Hammered and Cheese, and we'll do it. It'll be
awesome.
fine.
Yeah, I have another week left, so before I go back to school. But you guys are on the weekend now, right?
Yeah, we're on Saturdays.
Yeah. Okay, great. I can just do that anytime then. I'll look up like a soy sauce burger and then.
Bro, that'd be so cool. Honestly, too. See, this is the thing is like you never like. Okay, I learned this from people was that using mayo or mustard as a condiment for your French fries, significantly better experience than ketchup.
I agree. Yes, like an aioli or whatever, like mayo. It's great.
Hey, even just mayo. Like so, this is the thing is you find out that ketchup used to be ketchup. Now it is just essentially a tomato milkshake.
Yeah,
that's what you're like, yeah, it's got so much sugar, like it's a problem. So that's why mustard, 0 sugar, and mayo.
You can make an egg flavors of an okonomiyaki mayo teriyaki sauce. Also good. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So the flight back, not only did we learn our lesson and didn't sweat to death, no person in the third seat. That's what that picture was that I sent you and Joey that just said yes was the empty third seat.
I did not realize. I was just like, I thought you were just bouncing. I was just like, all right.
No. It was empty third seat. So like we slept for 2/3 of the flight because you just had the room to, yeah.
And see, that's the thing is like Victoria and I actually learned our lesson a long time ago, and we actually split up our seats. So like we both get aisle seats and usually across the aisle from each other.
Okay. That's smart. I'm a window guy myself. I like the window seat. I think she likes the aisle. So that would make sense to do a window aisle, but to save money, we got aisle middle.
Yeah.
And then because the third seat was empty, we just got a window seat by default for the way.
Which is like that also a reason why I like to travel like midweek. Yeah. You're gonna have significantly less passengers and also a better chance of having an open aisle.
So we got back like 11 a.m. Customs was like, "Hey, you're white people, keep it moving."
Yeah.
We bought Katie's brother a bottle of whiskey in the airport. And I know he doesn't listen to this show, so it was $20 American, and we made it seem all fancy.
Yeah, because well, to buy it here, it would probably cost like $150.
Yeah, but also it's like Japanese, so there's all the writing on it. So like whatever. Yeah.
It's fancy. No, 100%.
Looks fancy. So that was the only thing we declared when we got back from customs. Japanese whiskey is fantastic. I'm not really much of a whiskey guy.
So they actually won a few years. They beat Scottish whiskey, and Scotland was up in arms. And you're going like, yeah, because they're number one. This is the one thing that I've always appreciated about Japan is that they have there's an honor amongst whatever your work is.
Yeah.
So regardless of what job it is, it's that you do it with pride. And that's more their culture, which I'm like, yeah, I respect that. That's why like you see people who are working at a grocery store and their uniform is well tucked in, clean, folded, pressed, and you're going, this is the thing, having pride in whatever job you do is a sign of your character.
Well, also it's because that job allows them to live. Like Japan has a pretty low cost of living.
Yeah. So you just need a job. You don't need to be a boss bitch or whatever.
Yeah.
I just have a job, and then I can go on with my rest of my life, right?
Yeah.
I like how Victoria's like Japanese whiskey is fantastic because Victoria doesn't drink at all. So yeah.
Yeah, Suntory is good. Okay. The weirdest part was Katie sent me on one of my little nighttime excursions to go get her Tylenol because her feet were hurting so much.
Yeah.
And I went into a pharmacy. It took me 4 different askings of people. And they all looked at me like I had 3 heads.
Hmm.
Tylenol, picture of Tylenol, nothing. Until I found the pharmacist, and he's like, "Oh, aisle 3 down there."
How did they not know what that is? Like,
My guess is that they thought I looked like a druggie, which, you know what? Fair. But also because I'm wearing a hat with a poppy on it.
hmm.
So maybe that's like the heroin equivalent of the pot leaf or something. I don't know. It was called Tylenol. Yes, it said the
It's
word
still
Tylenol
not.
in English. But maybe it was also like they have like a take the pain culture where like why would you want a painkiller? Like
I have a
it's
question.
tolerable to take the pain. I don't know.
Did you try and be like, Tylenol? Like, just
No,
did you try
no.
and you really should have,
I'm
because I'll
not
tell you,
I'm
that
not
has nothing to do, that is not a mark against you, sir.
no, it's not that. It's just like I would have started laughing, which
The
would have made it
South will rise again is might be how it comes across. Yeah, okay.
exactly. Well, no, it's the same thing with the Christmas, right? Like
Yeah.
it just
Christmas. Yeah.
yeah.
Whenever,
Oh,
whenever
opium. Yeah, exactly, Victoria. Like I realized I probably looked like some sort of druggie or something. But the pharmacist being like, "Yeah, down there," and then I got it, and then that's it. They didn't just want to speak English with you now.
Oh yeah, but
Um,
that happens. So something that people need to realize: when you travel, people will understand English. They will not speak English with you,
yeah,
and the
probably.
reason is because they don't want. They are embarrassed by it. They don't want to,
Yeah,
because you're, think about it. You're a professional English speaker, and I'm just trying to learn. I
which is
don't
funny
want
because it's the
to.
opposite where we're trying to do the Japanese poorly,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And the thing is, the funny thing is that people don't realize, Jack, when you try, they're like, "Hey, good for you for trying."
yeah.
And they're like, "Well, why don't you try speaking English?" They're like, "Absolutely the fuck not." And you're
There
like, "Oh, that's good to know. That's
we
fair."
got one like in the Lush,
Yeah.
the lady there, we were using the translation app and like, trying to fumble through it and stuff. And then she's like, "Oh, I speak English." And Katie's like, "Oh, great." And then that was it. Um,
Awesome.
yeah.
That's top tier.
um, but yeah, after we came back, I was just so happy to have like American food for a couple days. Pizza,
Yeah.
burgers. That is one thing I definitely took for granted was the variety of food you can get in the US.
Yes.
Um, you can, yeah.
But you never really
Isn't Lush a
realize.
Canadian brand? Who fucking cares? It was in Japan. That's it.
Doesn't matter. It's immediately better because it's in
Yeah.
Japan. You can get the best deal for your home and your home if you're
Just
not.
just cut them off. It's stupid.
Seriously, Fernando, you need to.
Never mind. It's British. Lush. Right.
Yeah.
So all in all, I think from this trip, we really enjoyed. Not only because this was in essence our honeymoon, we
Yeah.
waited a year, but it was really fun to get to experience a culture. Like I haven't been outside of the U.S. since I was 10.
Jesus,
Yeah,
bro.
not even to Mexico or Canada. Like this was,
What?
yeah. So this was my first time outside of the country since I was 10. I had to get a whole new passport and everything. But it was absolutely wonderful. We definitely want to go back in the future, probably to like Kyoto or Osaka or something. Um,
It's a
somewhere
very
else.
fun experience, and you know what? I'm glad you had that, because that is a
Yeah,
big deal. Especially, I didn't know it's been so long,
yeah.
bro.
And then for her, she's never been out of the country. Period. End of story. That's it. This was her first time. This was her first time getting a passport, and we
I feel
experienced it together. We had a great time. We only fought once. I just have one piece of advice for all of you out there who are looking to travel with your spouse.
don't.
Make sure it's not period week.
Atlas is gonna die sometime in the next 3 days. Just an FYI to everybody. Yeah,
Yeah,
never bringing up that type of subject in general if you have a spouse. There you go. That's the real advice. Just don't even acknowledge, because you know what they want? Equality. So you just treat them like a normal person. They're not normal. They're all crazy. Don't know, but that's fine. Ta-da! Science. I'm glad, number one, that you had an enjoyable time, that you at least got that it's encouraged you to want to go back. And I'm glad that they didn't hose you on price and everything. That's a big deal. How much were your airplane tickets, if you don't mind? Because you bought them well in advance too,
yeah,
right?
they were like 1,000 a piece or something. They were a lot.
Which is reasonable. And then like, can I ask, like, what? So if you spend so little with regards to like expenses and those kind of things, once you factored in Disney tickets, travel, hotel, and all that, what would be
Okay.
the gross budget?
I think it was like 3,500 at the end of it. And that
That's
was mostly the flight and the hotel were the expensive parts.
Yep, that's fair. That's, you know what, that's not too bad. So 3,500. American is probably around 4,500 Canadian, maybe 5 grand Canadian. Yeah, that's reasonable. That's a reasonable trip. 8 days. My only thing is that it was only 8 days, and I find I only am relaxed after 10 days, but I have to come back on the 10th day. Otherwise, by 2 weeks I start to feel uncomfortable, and I'm like, I don't want to be here. I feel like I have to get a job or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, 2 of those days were spent on a plane, so
Yeah.
6 basically.
Yeah. Wait, so that's not, yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, here's a question then. Where would you spend more money if you returned, and where would you not spend as much? There's a good question.
Let's see. Well, obviously, the part of the reason of going during the holidays was we have all that time off from our work, right? And also we like subsidized our Christmas shopping. So if we went during a time where we didn't have to Christmas shop, it would also be a lot cheaper, right? So maybe like I think the thing we spend less on, like our hotel was already garbage. Sorry.
No, but hotels are traditionally garbage. When you travel that way, right?
Like I was so happy to come back and like, oh my god, my feet don't hang over the side of the bed. Oh, like
that is an issue regardless of where you go. Just an FYI. Yeah.
I don't really know in terms of money. Maybe like know that I should have cash in advance because I had to take out cash from a 7-Eleven ATM, which costs money. Like they have to charge to do that. And then knowing that you have to refill the yen with or the yen on your subway card with cash and not with your Visa card.
Yeah.
So maybe knowing in advance to do the currency exchange before you go.
Fair.
Like get $40 from an ATM, go to a currency exchange at the airport, at your hotel, whatever. They had them in a lot of places, and know to do that. I also have some yen left over just coming back. I put it in the travel wallet.
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe like knowing not to be so like spellbound by so much stuff and being like, I'm going to get way too much like 7-Eleven food. Like now I know what my limit is because there were some things where I'm like, I ate too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there is nothing worse than eating too much while you're traveling, because then you're like, oh, now I can't enjoy my traveling because I'm over full. And you're like, damn it. And you get lazy and I get it.
During the excursion to get the bento box, I got the shits in this mall, and then I had to like do this thing. I'm like, which fucking floor is the bathroom on? And I'm like running up like all around the things. It's like 10 at night. People are slowly,
I'm sorry. All I picture is like a Scooby-Doo. You going across a hallway back and forth, going, "Where's the bathroom?"
Yeah. Well, now they're pretty like obvious where it's like pink lady, blue guy line between them over there. Like it's not hard to find, but I was just looking for that sign in particular.
Yes.
And it turned out it was the floor above me or the floor below me.
Yeah, that's
not
fair.
Also
fair.
So
no, that's cool. That's interesting. I'm glad we had an enjoyable experience.
I think just knowing my limits, I think is
and that's like there are a lot of people that go places regularly. And sometimes like it's because, well, I enjoyed my experience, but now I kind of got the hang of it. So I'm using it as a base of operations for vacation and traveling and XYZ. And because that's the thing is, once you're in Asia, you can travel throughout Asia for a fairly decent price. So it's not as bad. Because if you travel from here and buy a ticket from here, so I'm going from here to Japan and then from Japan to XYZ country, you're going to pay like 5 times the price. Whereas if you go, okay, I'm going to Japan. When I get to Japan, I'm going to book a flight to XYZ place. And then they're like, oh yeah, that's like $10. It's nothing. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So that's fair.
I think in like ideas we spitballed for the future, somewhere in Europe, Ireland was floated around just because I want to meet John. Like part of me wants to be like, let's go meet someone I know but have never met in person.
That's fair.
Like UK is the start point for Europe. Hong Kong is the start point for Asia. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like that would be pretty cool. I would love to go to Australia, but I want to go during my summer break, so it's winter over there, just because I hate hot weather that much.
That's fair.
I definitely want to come up and see you guys now that I have the passport.
No, absolutely. Like realistically, we can always meet somewhere in the middle because we were also talking about going on a road trip, Cole and I. So we were going to meet at Buffalo and then go for barbecue. So I'm not sure where there's a hub that's because so this is the thing is if you can find a way to travel cheaply from there to somewhere, then we can always meet you and then take you and go places. Or realistically, we all meet as couples. It'd be very exciting, and then we all make fun of Cole for being single.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Yeah.
I know that we want to go to Indiana at some point because her brother lives there, and
Absolutely.
like the original idea was go to Chicago and they drive up and meet us, but they're like, that's too far. I'm like, great. So got to go to the crappy part of the Midwest, and
also fair. No, but that's well, but yeah, no, it's because I know Indiana. There was something else in Indiana as well. I think there's a few brands that are interested in coal that we're piecing about. So interesting stuff. Oh well, interesting.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Generation Dan about travel and about vacation. If you liked our show, leave a like, leave a comment, tell your friends. This shows up on on everywhere you get podcasts on the Friday after it's recorded. So this will be the first podcast of the new year.
Ta-da!
Hooray! Happy 2025, everybody! Which means I got to start a new season. So this is season 6, episode 1.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because we do it with the calendar. Yeah.
Well, we do it with the okay. Originally, it was whenever we got a new co-host, and then after Cole left, I'm like, all right, I'm just doing it by calendar year. Then
that's fair. Yeah, that's reasonable.
So, yeah, thanks everybody for watching, for listening. At Generation Dan, everywhere you find social medias, on Blue Sky, on Instagram. You can follow me at Atlas Novak wherever social medias are found, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram. All that good stuff. Or my other podcast, or not podcast, YouTube show, Nexus at Nights, which is about Card Fight Vanguard. If you don't like it, fuck you. How about you, Dino?
It's the best way of saying that. Yeah, no, Dino Genetic Marvel everywhere. I have a whole bunch of stuff going on right now. I have Lego, I have unboxings, I have all sorts of stuff I need to be working on, and I haven't been. So that's going to be what that is going to be. But yeah, tomorrow we have Life of Giants, which is going to, we are still thinking of a quote. So if you have anything, please feel free to message us. But yeah, well, so last year we did, so the first one we did was Mike Tyson's, everyone has a plan till they're punched in the face. And then yesterday or last week we did Winston Churchill is success is being able to go from failure to failure, but maintain your enthusiasm. And you're like, that's cool. So now we're kind of looking at like quotes from people throughout history and how it affects us and kind of stuff like that.
Did you guys eat Last Minute History on Life of Giants? It's become part of the show or something? Or?
Well, we're trying to figure out what it is in general. And that's because we also have mental health on Thursdays, which has been more just about talking about like stuff and experiences. So we're trying to use that.
Cool the episodes I've seen.
We're trying to figure out what to do because I'm like, it's more so about dealing like how to be a man without but philosophically, right? Whereas and not being toxic about it. Whereas Life of Giants is more so kind of what we can learn from history and like stuff that's played a role in our becoming adults and stuff, right? But also like, you know, if you don't know history, you're bound to repeat it. So, you know, using that kind of stuff, I feel it's kind of a middle ground. Instead of just talking about some specific person, we're talking about stuff. So interesting.
I got some fun ones. I'll send them to you when
I would greatly appreciate it. In the meantime, everyone, please like and subscribe. Otherwise, God won't love you. That's just how that works. He doesn't even believe about God, but he believes that God won't love you if you don't like your stuff. So that's just how it is. All right.
Happy New Year, Generation Dan, everybody.
See ya.